And here we are yet again. Another beloved IP is getting the treatment from the studio, and this time it's Doctor Who. We've seen the results of what happened to the other beloved IPs, such as Scooby-Doo, Lord of the Rings, Thor, She-Hulk, and all the others. And now they've come for Doctor Who. This article from the Daily Mail is reporting on an interview with Rusell T Davis, who has returned to save the beloved long-running series, which is now in its 60th year. There are not many shows that can say they've been on the air for 60 years. You could mention The Simpsons, which are on series 34 with 740 episodes, or Meet the Press, which has been on air a staggering 75 years with over 3,600 episodes. I guess the news doesn't count, but CBS Evening News has been on air for 72 years. The Today Show should be mentioned with 71 years and 18,000 episodes. But let's return to Doctor Who, which is in its 60th year and 871 episodes. The key difference between these shows and Doctor Who is Doctor Who is on the ropes. It is staggering from corner to corner, and the coach has the towel in his hand ready to throw it in the ring to stop the pain. But why has it come to this? Doctor Who is the quintessential evergreen show. It has a main character who can regenerate and can be anyone else when needed. It has a plot device called the TARDIS, which can go to any point in space and time. What more do you need to make a show fresh? Well, the rot started in 2016, as all the rot in TV and movies did. This was the moment when TV shows stopped focusing on script and story and switched to that mercurial, three-headed hobby horse: diversity, inclusion and representation. Gone was the drive to make compelling stories and to put the viewers on the edge of their seats, or even behind the sofa, in terror of the Daleks. Gone was the desire to explore the universe and its people. No, now was the introspective time to ask hard questions. Questions such as, why is the Doctor not black? Why is the story not about racism and feminism? Why is the Doctor not addressing important social questions, such as the gender pay gap and women's representation in boardrooms? Why are we not travelling through space and time to any point in the universe, but just happens to be the year 2017 in London, with exciting stories such as global warming, again, mental health, again, pollution, again, working conditions. Wow, this is worse than that Star Wars film about tax. Racism, oh my God, again. And of course, immigration. Focusing on these stories and pushing a liberal, left-wing, metropolitan agenda in every episode very quickly wore on the viewers, who became hostile to the BBC, who were pushing its social engineering message, thinly disguised as a science fiction adventure. The ratings dropped through the floor and the viewers fled. The BBC did not care, as they're not a commercial entity and they don't have advertisers, so they don't need shows to be popular. They get funding directly from the government in a form of mandatory tax, and so don't need to care about ratings, popularity of shows, or any commercial reality. They wanted to push a social justice message, and so they did. The next wave of problems for the Doctor came in the form of Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker. Jodie herself is a northern lass who knows her roots, and he by gum is northern straight speaking, tell it like it is, northern lass. Thus we have two boxes ticked in one, female and northern. Her companions were the fam, short for family. Jesus. And they were the diverse bingo jackpot. The Doctor herself admitted she had no interest in the show, even after she got the role. She said, I watched a bit during my audition process, but quickly decided it's not for me. Astounding. Her portrayal of the Doctor was manic, flip-flopping from one incident to another with no coherency or plan, but with lots of shouting. Well, now it's time for the new Doctor. Have the BBC learned anything from the past failures? Have they become commercially aware and care if the ratings collapse faster than a sandcastle on the beach at high tide? No. Why should they? It must be remembered that the BBC motto is inform, educate and entertain. Please note that inform comes first, educate second, and entertain comes a distant last. A new showrunner has entered the studio, but wait, it's the old showrunner back again. Rusell T Davis is back for the next instalment, and he's given an interview. Let's take a look. That's a bit generous. Rusell T Davis hits out at rubbish modern woke scriptwriters. Oh, the hypocrisy and hubris, who are obsessed with diversity rather than loving television. From the Mail, I can't believe what I'm reading, to be honest. Rusell T Davis criticises rubbish TV screenwriters because they're obsessed with diversity. Right. Okay. Pot calling kettle black. The mastermind behind the renaissance of Doctor Who has criticised rubbish television screenwriters obsessed with diversity. Rusell T Davis, the chief writer and producer of the show's 2005 reboot, said many scriptwriters today did not love TV and were more interested in representation. Well, thank you very much for pointing out the obvious. I do a lot of mentoring, he says, and there are voices wanting to be heard of any gender or ethnicity who consider themselves invisible. Right? They hate the media that ignores them, and they're trapped into wanting a job in that medium purely to increase representation. So this is the main statement. He's saying there's a load of people and they hate the media. By that I think he means TV. They hate television, and I suppose British television, and more specifically the BBC. So they hate that because it ignores them, but they're trapped into wanting a job in that TV or /BBC because they want to increase representation, but they have no interest in writing decent television programs. He told the Sunday Times, I read their scripts and they're rubbish. They don't actually love television, so they don't know how to write for it. There he is, there's Rusell T Davis, the mastermind behind the renaissance of Doctor Who. Mastermind, renaissance, keywords there. But he's criticised rubbish screenwriters for their obsession with diversity. We'll come to that in a second. In the same interview, actor and director Mark Gatiss shared his concern about the quality of new writers. Sometimes I think I'm like Pollyanna, because I've met so many people who hate making television. I don't know why that's Pollyanna. Wasn't she a woman who was poor and she was taught how to speak English properly by Professor Higgins? Is that the right film I'm thinking of? My Fair Lady, Pygmalion? Or am I thinking of something else entirely? Let me know. Is that Pollyanna? I might be thinking of something else entirely. It seems to make them so miserable. Go and work on the bins or something, he says. And then he goes back to the TV thing. He says, it's hard work making TV. It gives you ulcers. I don't think he means go on the bins. So you have to love it. Mr. Davis has returned to oversee Doctor Who in its 60th anniversary year after the most recent run suffered a poor reception from fans and critics. Yes, it did. Yes, it did indeed. It was bad. Super bad. It faced criticisms under Chibnall for being too political and woke. I mean, 2 + 2 = 4. He quit the show after the latest Christmas special. That's another problem. There was less and less episodes each year because it was so hated. I think back in its heyday it was something like 19 episodes. In the original series it was something like 60 episodes in a year. But in the modern era it was like 13. And then in the last few years under Chris Chibnall it dropped to 6 episodes because nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to watch it. Nobody wanted to make it. Nobody wanted to watch it. It was just a nightmare. He quit after the latest Christmas special. Oh yeah, a few of them were just Christmas specials. And then a few of them, they weren't even allowed the Christmas special, which has been like a mainstay of British television for decades. And they said, no, people don't want to watch this stuff at Christmas anymore. They don't want to be lectured at Christmas time. You know, they've just had enough of you telling them that they're racist and bigots and fascists and anti-feminists and all the rest of it. They've just had enough of it. So yeah, the final episode with Jodie Whittaker as the first female Doctor. In 2005, Mr. Davies revived Doctor Who to critical acclaim, by casting Christopher Eccleston, brilliant, and then David Tennant, brilliant, in the lead role and penning more adult and modern storylines. This year, fans will see this guy. I've had to look up how to pronounce his name. It is Ncuti Gatwa. So this Ncuti is pronounced Shuti. So NCU somehow is shoe, and then TI is TI. So that's shooty somehow. There you go. I don't know why either. But there you go. This year, fans will see Shooty Gatwa as the 15th Doctor, the first black actor. See, we've got firsts again. Black actor to take on the role. As soon as you get anything with firsts, it's always a worry. It is always a worry. So you've got Rusell T Davis, there he is, saying diversity is just rubbish and you don't know how to write things. You're obsessed with diversity rather than writing stuff. And then he casts Shooty Gatwa, who is a Rwandan Scottish black gay guy. Right, okay, and his companion is trans. Right, so this guy says diversity is rubbish. It's rubbish writing things about diversity. People are rubbish if they are obsessed with diversity rather than loving television. And so he casts a Rwandan Scottish black gay person with a trans companion. So I'm like, really? Really? Is that how it works? I think that's how it works in metropolitan London, where truth and reality are not often friends with these people. They seem to create what they want to create, or they seem to say things and then they think it's real. It's like saying this banana is orange or something, and they expect reality to change into what they say because they say it, rather than reality being what it is. And bananas are yellow. They just say stuff and expect reality to change, and it doesn't. So there you go. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Are you going to watch Doctor Who? It's not looking great, to be honest. It never is. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.